This is Xander. Xander is 5 months old. He is the youngest of 3. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old as well. Xander has been an amazing addition to this family. He is so loved on by his older brothers. They couldn't ask for anything more. But Xander is a little bit different in that he was born with congenital CMV. That is something that causes a whole range of issues with kids. Some of the things that it has caused for Xander is that there are some gross developmental delays. He also has bilateral hearing loss. And so we have been very fortunate to take advantage of having in-home PT through our county. And they've been able to come into our house and been able to give us some amazing tips and strategies on helping Xander to meet his goals and his milestones. Before all of the pandemic situation started going on, we had been having Paula, our PT, come into the house weekly, providing us with different things that we could do to help him out, to get his gross motor development where it needs to be. And she would also occasionally, at least once a month, bring with her someone from the Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center. She brings in different resources that we can use to help with using his hearing aids and also with learning sign language as a family.
Hello. So thank you all for letting me record today.
Absolutely.
And how are you guys doing with all of this?
We're managing.
Hanging in there, huh?
Yes, exactly.
I understand.
As soon as the pandemic started closing everything down, the county was incredibly awesome with moving to virtual visits literally within a week of our last in-home visit. Paula jumped right into it. She had our visits up and running weekly.
There's also been instances where, his bigger brothers are screaming and you could see him physically react to it. And not in a
positive
way.
Not in a joyful way.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now where do you go? How is the follow-up? Right when the pandemic hit, the day that the schools were closed, that same day we were getting information from our organization that we were going to switch to virtual visits. It was impressive to me how Cuyahoga DD just jumped on board and went with it to best meet our family's needs. Of course, there are always bumps in the road, but actually now I have 100% of my families doing virtual visits.
Since the pandemic has occurred and we've had to switch over to virtual visits, we're still able to take advantage of her expertise. Through the computer, we're able to show her why we're concerned about different things. She's able to watch our technique and give us feedback and pointers about if we should tweak something a little bit. So right now, it's so beneficial to at least still have those services available to us.
I prepped like I normally prep for any visit. I reviewed the last note. She had actually sent me a video of him on a new wedge that we had just ordered. So I reviewed that video. I just reviewed like I would normally review for a visit. I just went on my normal routines.
So the wedge is a new piece of equipment that Paula was able to order for us. It's been the one piece of equipment that has allowed Xander to be comfortable with tummy time the most. So we have been looking for new ways to use the wedge to help him with his development.
So the wedge seems to be working pretty well.
Oh, I love the wedge.
I
actually like the wedge better than the peanut ball. The peanut ball, don't get me wrong, I think is a little bit more difficult for him. I think it might work those muscles a little bit harder.
Right.
But he's more resistant to it than he is the wedge. The wedge, he's kind of like, hey, this feels good. I'm on an angle.
Good.
So
You want to see him on the wedge?
Yeah, let's do that.
Do that. Okay.
And when I saw the clip that you sent, you could tell when he started to get fatigued because that tilt just really showed up, you know.
Oh, you can see him starting to
Yes,
go to
exactly.
the side.
So when if we see that today, if we can try to kind of shift him over. I don't know if my message to you made sense.
I took a video of Xander using the wedge to show her the progress that he was making. And so it was great that I could still communicate with her and send her a text message with a video to say, hey, this is what he's doing when you're not here. Is there anything that you're seeing that we can talk about when we have our visit? So she's able to actually preview all those videos and everything before we have a virtual visit so we can maximize our time together.
And are you still seeing him doing some nice purposeful reaching? I know you'd said last time he was reaching for dad's face and some
actually he's doing more. We're seeing what was it? Oh, he actually, so this little thing,
yeah.
he actually grabbed this the other day. He was on, I don't remember if he was on his side. We're seeing a lot more side rolling, like getting to his side on his own.
Fully to the side.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he ended up grabbing this and he had pulled it up to his mouth and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got one of these things too.
Uh-huh.
So I've been having him go on his side and then he likes this side in particular. Okay. And then the one that has the buttons too.
And he can activate the buttons?
Yeah. So we've been trying to work on him learning how to push against them. So.
And is he rolling to both sides pretty equally, or is it one side?
I'm seeing both sides. It's almost like he'll do one and come back to center and then go to another.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. So if you want to tuck his shoulders just a little bit more underneath, or his elbows, sorry, right underneath. Yeah, perfect.
Bring you back. Oh, good burn.
Very nice. And look at that little hand opening up a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Now let's see if you can, where'd your binky go? No. There's a smile.
Hi.
So if you kind of back your support off just a little bit, let's see do you think he'll try to reach a little bit for anything in front of him yet, or is that still really tough?
So we like Yoey. Let's see. You want to up and there he goes. You going to your side? You gonna let him?
I think there's a little bit of spit up too. So maybe if you want to.
Oh, that was just bubbles.
Bubbles. Okay. Hard to tell on video. I was working with Xander's family with the new wedge, just guiding them through that positioning, where his shoulders, where his elbows should be, and maybe offering a next step. Like, okay, can he reach towards that pacifier a little bit or towards that toy? And if it's too much, that's okay. We'll meet him where he is.
Sometimes I feel like he's sliding down.
Yes.
On it. Like I have the towel. I don't know if you have a recommendation for something else to put here to give him a little more grip.
You have a towel on it?
I have a towel on here, yeah.
I usually use the towel.
Do you have the ability to make, trying to think of something that you could create on your own there, maybe just placing something a little bit heavier or filling up a sock or something with coins, or with, if you happen to have some sand or anything from a sandbox, I don't know if you would or not.
Yep.
And then just kind of placing it between his legs so that it acts as a little bit of a bumper. He's doing so much better on this. You can tell. I mean, yes, he's still working hard, which is fine, but he definitely seems to be less frustrated.
Are you ready? Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Come on up.
Nice. That's much better than it was.
So he has a little bit more head control, but it's not.
Exactly. It's not yet there, but it's better. Definitely better. And have you tried it on the wedge? The
great thing about continuing with virtual visits is that Paula can watch us use the wedge with him, and she can give us new ways of using the wedge. So I never would have thought about actually using the lower edge of the wedge for him to practice sitting up on. So there are things that she can still offer us, even though she can't actually come into the house.
Since I'm not in there to show them everything that you can do with this one piece of equipment, to kind of process other things that we've been working on in the home and how to use that new piece of equipment to meet those needs and work into a routine.
Sometimes it can get very hectic and crazy, especially if you have other small children running around who also need your attention. So the great thing about Paula and some of the techniques and strategies that she's shown us is that these are things that we can use every single day just in our normal routine of things. So for example, my son here has a little bit of torticollis. And so we've been working on some techniques to help with that and to relax those muscles. Techniques that are as simple as holding him a certain way when we're feeding him a bottle, or if we're watching a family movie with our older two kids, we can keep doing those stretches and the boys can join in. There's things that we can do that don't take an additional hour out of the day. You don't have to set aside time for those things. You're doing them while you're doing all your normal things.
We want it to all be factored into their life, because I think families sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to do 2 sets and oh my gosh, I can't do 12 reps. It's not like that. You just have to embed it and work it into his play and your family time and wherever you can work it in to make it work and to make it functional and to make it meaningful for him and for them and for the other boys too. It's super important, especially with everybody home now, to try to get everybody involved as much as possible, because that's the reality of the world right now. Xander, since he has now his hearing aids, notices his brothers. If you're trying to get him to track something, have him on his belly, on the wedge, and have the boys playing with something in front of him to get him to be motivated to lift his head up. Anything like that is going to be helpful to his goals and helpful to their world and their routines.
Our visits happened immediately. We literally went from 1 week of having an in-home visit to doing virtual visits the next week, which has been awesome. The resources that she has brought to us, whether it's equipment that we're using in our house, different techniques and strategies to use with our child, I have been nothing but impressed with Paula.
With the video conferencing and virtual visits versus face-to-face, coaching takes on the form that it's actually supposed to be. It's actually really beneficial as a therapist to me, because I've learned something so new about the way I coach and the way I was probably too much hands-on. So I have learned a great skill of being able to coach in a better way that I will carry on throughout.
For anyone who is providing services to families, the thing about it right now is that families want the help. We want the help. We want you to continue to give us advice, even though we can't see you one-on-one. We want you to be able to see our little ones and see the progress that they're making and still help them to make that progress, because we don't know when these service restrictions are going to be, lifted. Right now, if it's not until June, that's 2 months away, and I can't imagine my little one not being able to get services for almost 3 months. So right now, any services that can be provided, even if it's just 30 minutes a week, anything right now is incredibly welcomed.